why are we involving the uncle to begin with? It's not like he's gonna live with us or anything. But I normally tell people that if I
Lily.
Why are we telling the uncle, Kathomi? It's not like we're going to live with him or anything. Cindy, I feel like I normally tell people, if I cannot convince my partner that he has to reach out to the mom, to the uncle, to the nanny, for him to make up his mind, and then what are we doing? We are not living with these people in our homes. So please, if I cannot change your mind as my partner, we are done. Like the relationship is as good as dead. And when we say we need to keep, you need to keep your distance emotionally and physically, and by that physically means if you have to call police, call them. If you have to avoid being with them, avoid it. When you put in those WhatsApp group, ziangalie hivi na macho, emotionally, you're not available. Physically, you're not available, just to put an end to all this. Sindo?
I agree. I agree. And I think sometimes when it comes to family that you really can't do anything about it in terms of like you have to go and visit his in-laws at the end of the day. If that's his mother, she might be have some toxic characteristics, has some toxic traits. Your husband has spoken to you and said, and yeah, well, it's just once a year and that's my mother. At the end of the day, if something happens to her, I would like to know that once she passed away, at least I've spoken to her and hung out with her. You have to put yourself in that situation. And that's why I think now that emotional distance is what's very important. Because I'm really good at that point of where you can say, and Yenny, you'll be there talking, the talking of the talking you can possibly talk. And I'm just there like this, like this, like this. And that time my mind has flown. We've gone to Dubai. We're twerking on a yacht. We're doing everything. And I'm not even there. And that's how you stop these things from hurting you emotionally. Because there's some situations, as much as you want to be able to keep your distance, you just can't keep your distance. It's life. Sometimes you just have to vumilia. But when you're able to remove your emotions out of it, let me tell you, it's not easy, but it can be done. You have to do that for these situations which you cannot honestly get out of.
Yeah, another thing that you need to remind yourself constantly is that you do not expect anyone to be perfect, including yourself. And I know this is a far cry from the realities, because when you're saying you do not expect someone to be perfect, you're not expecting them to be utter garbage at the end of the day. It's not like perfect and garbage are like complete polar opposites. No, 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 no. Most times you're expecting for someone to be sane, neutral at the very least. If you're not going to be horrible to me, I mean, if you're not going to be amazing to me, then be impartial. I don't want for you to tell me the way you hate me or loathe me. Keep that information to yourself. Be basically, you know, ghosting to me. As in, I see you, you see me, but we don't see each other. You know what I mean? There is just a level to which people can be able to remain sane, and sanity can only, sometimes silence. You know? Yes, we come back together, we all hang out. You don't have to tell Auntie Jane and Auntie Mary and Auntie Wanjiko the way I did something wrong or the way you don't like me. Because all these aunties are going to now start having like a negative vibe with me. And then I'm now fighting not just you, but I'm fighting all these other aunties. Let's try and keep our negativity and our problems to ourselves. Sort it out with your psychiatrist or with your partner, but don't make it a family issue for everyone else now to start taking sides, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes the problem is you.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So you have to look at yourself before you start blaming your in-laws. Maybe you are the problem. By the way, if more than one person tells you that you have a certain problem, believe them. Believe it. By the way, you have a problem, and seek help. Another way is, please stop fighting old battles. You know, there is usually no way to resolve them. Sindio? Because sometimes you've tried year one, year two. Why are you still fighting them? Change your tact. Sometimes, you know, it involves wazes. And once it involves wazes, by the way, you can't win. All you need to do is just like either get yourself out of the situation or just like, I don't know, just pray to your God. Because you cannot change some things, especially the past.
And I think what we really need to understand is forgiveness as well, yeah? So sometimes, like in your childhood, for example, you might have had a toxic parent. Maybe your parent was never there for you. Maybe they were just unfairly, they were just toxic in your childhood. Now you're an adult. There's only for so long that you can continue crying about your childhood. What are we going to do about the situation now? Are you going to be 40, 50, 60, still crying about how when you were 6, 7 years old, daddy did not go and pick you up from school? Oh, he disappeared. Oh, he did this and that. you have to reach a point where, you know what, I forgive you, and I'm not forgiving you because I'm okay with what you've done, but I'm forgiving you because it's for myself. It's so that I can be able to move on through life, so that I can be able to go about my days and interactions with other people, and that same old burn and that old fight is not now affecting my relationship, not only with you, the same person who wronged me, but with other people as well. Forgiveness is such an important thing for yourself, not just for the person who has wronged you.
And absolutely, just because you're forgiving them doesn't mean that you then invite them into your home. No. Sometimes you just forgive them and then you deal with them from a distance. When you're told, let's come to family occasions or whatever, and you really just don't want to go, you don't want to deal with their energy, just say no. These people of maybe, I'll think about it, I'll get back to you, I'll let you know. You know at that very moment you're not going, you do not want anything to do with it, just say it, no. Clear as daylight, so that no one starts to have expectations of you. Then it's not a conversation of, Alisa Manakuja, and even these days she always says and she never does, you know. Let's not leave more room for drama, for issues to come up, for people to talk about you. Just say no. But then she said she's coming. No. Simple. But then she said she's coming. Uyo, squeezy. You see, different conversations. No, very clearly, very distinctly.
Because sometimes we try to be sweet. Unaambia, let me see. Let me see.
Send me money.
Let me see.
Let me think
Cynthia,
about
let me think about it.
And then that person
They'll
is
be on
holding
your case.
the phone the whole day, seeing, like, waiting
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah, so I agree with you, Kathomi, that sometimes you just need to say a straight no. Are you coming? No. Do you have money you send me on M-Pesa? No. They will not come for you again. Another one. Hey, let go of your wishes for family members' lives. Ayuma, take it away.
You know, sometimes our expectation versus reality are two completely different things. You know what I mean? You expect yourself to, like, you envisioned, especially I think for parents and older people, and what they envision and expect for their children, expect for their nephews, their nieces, and everything, is something completely different from the lives that their children are living. And sometimes it's good to have those conversations with them of saying, like, you know, even you, when you were living your life and everything, you weren't able to do all of your goals and wishes and dreams. And it took you a minute, as my mother, as my father, to figure out what exactly it is that you want to do in life. So also give me the space and give me the chance to be able to grow into that amazing person, be able to grow and find my path. I think this is something where you can honestly have a direct and honest conversation of just saying, I'm finding my way, and maybe I haven't been able to reach your expectations, but this is what I expect of myself. And maybe they can understand that.
Yeah, and with that, you will warrant a lot of reactions. Not everyone is going to be super psyched that you're trying to change. Not everyone is going to be super psyched that you're becoming a different person. You will expect things like people making you feel guilty, guilt tripping you for something. Okay, but you know me, I did this for you, and you're not doing this for me, simply because you said, no, I don't want to go that way. Or you've changed your career, and then your mother will be over there crying, okay, the way we invested money in your education. And now you're trying to tell us that you're not going to be a doctor. We were looking up to you for blah, blah, blah. That is going to happen. You will expect very many different things. Shouting is going to be involved sometimes. Even sometimes threats. If you don't do what we tell you, then you're going to be kicked out of this family. If you don't marry the girl that we told you and you go and marry that other new girl who we don't know and we don't care about, you are no longer going to be part of this family. Expect it and start to find a way to brace yourself for impact. Because it is coming. It is coming.
Yeah, and the problem is sometimes we change for people,
Yeah.
and then we come and regret it. Like right now, you're just focusing on now and not the future. Like if I become a little bit soft, maybe this will happen. If I decline the raise, or if I decline atikupandishwa cheo, this and this is going to happen. My husband is going to love me better. Stop it. It's time you think about yourself, your goals, your ambitions, and everything good for your life.